Hey everybody, welcome into the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel on the very last Friday of 2023. And with me today, I have one of my very good friends as a special guest over there. Hey, I pointed in the right direction. You're good luck. I always point that way.
There we go. Yeah, what's up? Thanks for having me. Great to be here. I was grooving to your cool Flippin' Hippos theme song. That was fun.
I made that with Canva.
Okay, there you go. Good old Canva. Yeah.
One of the things we're going to do today, I actually have some stuff to show off that I make with Canva.
Nice.
In the gesture of admitting how much of a nerd I am.
What? You prefer the term nerd or geek?
I like nerd.
Okay. All right.
What do you like?
I've leaned towards geek, but that's okay. Nerd's fine too. I've been called both.
Dork is okay too.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, approximately 10 times a day, I do ask Keith if anyone has reminded him yet today that he's a big old nerd. And he always says, yes, then what about you? And if he's playing a video game and I say, oh, but you're playing a video game. And he's like, what's in your hand there? Is that a book? Are you reading? Is that your second book this week? So I guess there's different kinds of nerds, but.
Yeah, that is true. Into all kinds of different things. I hooked up the old mini Nintendo Entertainment System the other night. And then, after realizing how dated the games are, and as my son scoffed as he walked by, and I said, at one time, these were the best graphics you could get in home. But I played Super Contra over and over for probably 3 or 4 hours.
So I have something so that I can look like you.
Thank you. Oh, look at this. We're like twins.
We're like nerd twins.
Push your hair up.
Oh my gosh, these are filthy.
I cleaned mine. I cleaned mine for you, Star.
Well, thank you. I'd put on makeup for you.
I may have. You never know.
All right, there we go.
Oh, it looks good. I like it. The big oversized glasses. In England, they call them the national something, but basically like I guess the equivalent to welfare glasses. They hand out these big generic glasses that you get. But
the welfare glasses, the socialist glasses.
That's right, exactly.
They're cool though. Like I did get, my real glasses are very small.
Okay, those are good too.
I think when I get new ones, I want big honking like 60s.
There you go.
Yeah.
Buddy Holly glasses.
Yeah. Hi Jay, welcome in. Jay is the person I bought the Build-A-Bear
nice
clothing. So it is New Year's Eve weekend. It's Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm drinking water.
Okay. In the coveted eBay, the legendary now eBay cup, legendary already.
Yes. This was a nice surprise when it came.
It's bigger than your head.
Huh?
It's bigger than your head.
It's 40 ounces. And I love it because I'm drinking more water than ever before. So it's helping me with one of my healthy habits that we're going to talk about when we get into resolutions.
Okay. I need to do more, but I have I call it my seller community cup.
Yes, so I have one of those.
And I have more. You should see the stack of stickers I have. And then they'll go on my laptop, on my cup, and on my lap desk, and then literally on my desk. So it'll be fun. Oh.
And I also have a Pepsi.
All right. I have the ubiquitous coffee in a Christmas mug.
How cute. But I also, because it's a special occasion, I brought out the big guns.
That's true. That is good. Halloween too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Excellent.
So this is a wine spritzer, which is one of my favorite things to drink. A lot of people don't know that because you don't see me drink them at events.
Okay.
Wine is very expensive, so I only drink it at home.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Events, I stick with beer and vodka soda. But this is pink Moscato Sangria wine.
Wow.
Mixed with Sprite cranberry.
Goodness.
For a very fancy festive holiday spritzer.
Very
nice.
But
I will tell you guys that the wine did come out of a box. So I did say fancy, not classy.
Well, I mean, don't scoff at boxed wines or screw caps because some of them are very good.
This is really good.
That's good. Well, I have for libation, and since technically I still am on vacation, so this is going to be my ease back in. I go back to work Tuesday, but I have a tequila soda as well.
Oh, well, cheers.
Cheers, Shlancha. And it's, I don't know what kind of tequila it is, Dabo Diamante or something, but it's good. Cut it a little bit.
Yeah, I like tequila, but this new wine is to die for, and it's good just by itself. But I like the Sprite. I like the carbonation and the refreshment of the Sprite. And you only get Sprite cranberry this time of year.
Really? I had no idea. No
it's
idea.
A limited holiday thing. So we did buy about 6 12-packs.
Okay.
They're in our pantry. Yeah, got to.
Is that going to last you like the year?
It'll probably last 4 months. I had to do the math.
Okay. All right.
Like about 12 weeks.
Okay.
Well, we'll open one every other week and it'll last 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good.
We also we have popcorn. We have pumpkin creamer in the freezer. Like 4 of them. So that like every 3 months we can have pumpkin and we don't have to wait for fall.
For the year, yeah. Don't have to wait for the pumpkin spice to come out and the gingerbreads.
So now that we've talked about drinks and being nerds,
yes,
I guess we should tell the people who you are.
All right. Do you want to tell them who I am or should I?
You tell.
All right. So I'm Doug, Snoop Dougie. I am the senior content director for List Perfectly. Mm-hmm. I am the co-host of the Seller Community Podcast. And I do seller events with List Perfectly. I manage the blog, help with a lot of site content, do stuff like this, engage with sellers. I love it. I used to work at eBay, so I did very similar work there. And then I guess you would say on the side, I have a music podcast called Albums That Saved Us, and I do that. And then I talk about selling. I mean, I have a good working knowledge. I have sold. I'm nowhere near the volume seller or expert seller that Star is, but there's that. And
expert, but volume is right.
There you go. And then I've known Star several years, and we're buddies. We're into a lot of the same stuff, but we'll get into that. But yeah, always happy to be here. Always happy to do this. Oh, Star, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm gonna.
You have your podcast voice on. I'm scared.
Thank you so much. Would you like to come on the Snoop Dougie show next week?
Yes.
Wednesday. I'll give you the time. Wednesday, 12 Pacific. So it's in listing party. We'll see. We'll coordinate times.
Is that 3 p.m. my time?
Yeah. Is that no good?
That's our, oh my gosh, about to nerd myself. That is our bi-weekly Walmart trip.
Oh, okay.
Once monthly. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Okay. We can rotate. We can do another day.
Can I do the next Wednesday?
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
Oh, no, you're fine. I love being put on the spot. I always have my bullet journal here so I can see what's going on.
So we'll do the 10th.
A new thing I'm doing, those of you that have been following the bullet journal series on my channel, I am going to start doing my grocery shopping bi-weekly and see how it goes. I go every week. It takes me 10 minutes because I'm a very good meal planner and grocery list maker. But I said to Keith, what if we went and tried to get everything for 2 weeks?
There you go.
And go every other week just to save the gas and the time. Yeah. And working from home, time is money, and I'd rather stay home every other Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we're going to try it out and see what happens. This is he wanted to do it for a couple years now. My hang up was, but the produce, it won't last 2 weeks. And I got over that after a conversation with Keith. He talks to me while I'm on the treadmill. We usually go for walks together, but it's cold. So
yeah,
he talks to me while I'm on the treadmill. So I feel like we're still going together. I don't have to have salad for lunch every day. I can eat it for the first week and then do sandwiches or something. So
yeah, mix it up.
That's information people don't care. Well, probably some do. If you've been following how I do
your bullet journals.
Yeah, and my
it's
menu.
Interesting you bring that up because I read something the other night, and obviously we're in a time where we're making goals and resolutions. And I read something the other night and somebody said something and you responded and it made me think about how I need to consolidate. Let me show you. So I've got all kinds of notebooks and stuff like this. This is just part of it.
Oh my gosh, that's a pile.
And so I make lists, but I'll make a note, but I'll write something. I'll just grab something and write something, but I need to consolidate it. So I'm going to go more digital so I can access it across devices, but I have to get these crazy notes and lists and everything organized somewhere. But part of that was thanks to a comment you made about your bullet journals.
Well, thank you. I'm very passionate. I have been doing some sort of planner since probably elementary school. Okay. I used to write stuff in my sticker books. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've always had planners all through high school when it was just hearts and who I was crushing on at the time. And,
yeah.
Then I found Fly Lady's system of cleaning your home.
Okay.
Oh gosh, probably about 20 years ago. My oldest son is 19 and he was a baby. So 19, 20 years ago.
Okay.
And she has a control journal, which is basically a compilation of everything in your life. It's an address book. It's your cleaning list. It's your menu. It's your med list. It's your, please don't give me this. If you find me on my kitchen floor, I'll die, for the paramedics.
All right.
All that good stuff. And then I discovered bullet journals, probably 2015. I didn't like everything about them. So just like with everything in life, and I tell people this is why I'm getting loud because I get excited. I do this with Dave Ramsey and I do this with Fly Lady. And you guys that watch my bullet journal series should do this as well. Just take what you need, take what you like, take what fits your life, and leave the rest.
Yeah.
You don't have to simulate everything I do.
Yeah. So
I took what I liked from the bullet journals and the control journals and starized it.
Okay. Starized. All right.
I starized it. Hey, Brian's here. I just saw him at my true crime party.
What's up, Brian Hargis? Thanks for joining.
My fellow Beanie Buddy friend.
That's right. That's right. No, but what you said is exactly true. Is like I way back I started a job. It was at UPS Corporate. I worked for them for a while, and they made me wear a shirt and tie every day. But we also had to adhere to the Franklin Covey system of organization. Like they gave us the notebooks and all the special tabs and all the special pages. And there's some good stuff in there that I still use to this day, but I don't do everything. And it's just like you said, starize it. Take what you need from that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like a lot of folks, I try to help with budgeting advice. Well, I don't like Dave Ramsey. I don't like that he's religious. Then don't worship the way he does. But he gives great advice about budgeting, and he gives great advice on creating separate sections of your life where you're spending money and how to pay down debt.
Okay.
So take that. You know, and a lot of folks don't like Fly Lady because she's very religious. Well, just take what you want. And she also has a Fly Lady expat. Her name's Fly Lady Cat. She does the Fly Lady system in a different way.
Okay.
But I don't agree with just saying I don't like one thing about this system or this person, so I'm not going to do any of it, because there could be more that really helps you. And I have to tell you, Fly Lady, listen, my house for the last 20 years has looked every day like somebody just spent 20 hours cleaning it yesterday. It stays that clean. There's never clutter. There's never disorganization. Since I started her, you know, I'm not saying I've always been, well, yeah, I have always been. I'm OCD and germaphobe, but she has you, Doug, if you're not familiar, each week you're in a different room of the house and you're spending 15 minutes decluttering. And once you're done decluttering, the next time you're back in that room, you're deep cleaning. So today you're cleaning the floorboards. Next week you're getting the cobwebs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like that.
Huh. All right. So we got way off topic, but y'all get me talking about bullet journals and menus and cleaning. I'm off. Doug and I met in 2018 in a bowling alley in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was herding a drunk friend out the door. Remember? He was.
Okay, so that was that was the what did they call it? The something bowl, not Rockin' Bowl, but with the giant dangerous escalator staircase. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
He worked for eBay.
Yeah, I knew who you were. Was having a good time. 2019 was crazier, but 2018 was fun too.
2019 was fun though.
Mhm.
And I think you and I together collectively had the most fun this year at camp.
Yeah, Camp LP was fun. I
But
think,
FlipCon, I think
yeah, FlipCon was fun. I like, I do not, I don't mind dancing. I like a DJ. I like music, so that's always good. But yeah, we always have fun. But oh, there was a particular night because I brought this up. We talked to Yaya Rambles a few weeks ago about there was a night at FlipCon where there were four of us left, and two of them are on, or four or five of us left, and two of them are on this live right now. Let's just say
and we got kicked out of the lobby.
that's true. We had to go outside or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, he was not. I'm gonna say this as nicely as possible because I don't want to badmouth the hotel, so we don't even mention which one it was.
Yeah,
But he was not a very nice security guard, and he came off very aggressive. And for my type of personality, he came off as like, "You're not my dad. Shut up." That's what I wanted to tell him. Because the first night I was down there by myself, and then my friend came and sat with me. I'm an insomniac and I paid for my room. So if I want to go sit by the pool at night or order DoorDash at midnight, I
yeah,
shouldn't be told you have to go to your room.
yeah. And you're not being rowdy.
Mm-mm. I didn't like
Well,
that.
and then also, it's like, we could have said that we're here with a group of 300 something people that's basically taken over your hotel. You might want to be a little more tolerant, but
Yeah.
yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But,
And then he said it like, you have to go to your room. But I
oh,
ordered DoorDash. Well, they can text you when they get here. Okay.
he
Now,
just do his job.
on the opposite spectrum, the hotel we were in for camp.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Oh my.
They
Did you
love,
hear the whole Pittsburgh story?
maybe, but I don't know. The
I'm going to
security
get
guards were
somebody
handing out,
fired if I haven't already.
all security guards were handing out free drinks there late at
Yeah.
night. Maybe,
So
yeah, remind me.
the one night, if you don't have it, so they have a convenience store in the lobby there and it's open all night. We stayed out there till 3, 4 in the morning. Nobody cared. Nobody kicked you out. And they had a
Yeah.
little convenience store that sold beer and wine, like not hard liquor. And after a certain hour, that would close, but you could go in and get what you wanted and take it to the check-in desk and pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, I got like 7 beers. I was buying one for everybody out there, right? So I had like an armful of beers I was buying around for everybody. I didn't have my phone. And I keep in my phone my credit cards and my driver's license.
Oh, and a little compact there.
Yeah. So I wanted to charge it to my room. So I just went around the little area in the lobby to go grab my phone to get my ID so I could charge it to my room. 2 giant, I'm 5 foot tall, y'all. 6 foot tall linebackers were chasing me. The security guards, ma'am, you gotta pay for the. I think I got a sandwich too. They're like, you gotta pay for that. You got, and I'm like, oh my god, I promise I was. I was just trying to get my driver's license. I was just gonna charge it to my room. I promise I was gonna pay. I was all scared because I thought they were gonna tackle me.
Drop the goods and run.
I got up to the check-in counter, and the 2 security guards and the girl working the counter were all from Pennsylvania, around Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So they saw my driver's license and they lost their minds. They're like, "Oh, you're good. You're good. Here, you can have these ones for free, and we'll charge you for these."
Nice.
And then they were giving free drinks to people that were in my party because they're like, "If you're with Pittsburgh, you're good." And they called me Pittsburgh the whole time I was there. It was great.
There you go. Yeah, no, that was fun. And yeah, they were very tolerant. We took over the hotel. We were all over. Brian Hargis and I had a good late night out by the pool chatting. And then, definitely one night there was Poshmark Live going on upstairs, and then downstairs people were shipping, people were talking, people were drinking. And the very first night I was wandering through the lobby by myself at least midnight and bumped into Rob picking and punching. I always say kicking and punching, and him and Kevin Commonwealth Picker, and we sat there and talked for about 3 hours. So, but yeah, no, that was great. Looking forward to more events next year too.
Yeah, and I really like that. And the FlipCon was kind of the same way, except after 9 o'clock, because you're in the South and the Bible Belt, they make you go to bed. But I did like that everybody was in one hotel, because if you were bored, if you had insomnia and couldn't sleep, if you were looking just to have a conversation, you could go in the lobby at any time.
Yeah.
And find people.
Yeah.
I held a bullet journal class in the lobby at camp. We just put our chairs in a circle and we passed my book around, and everybody got to read all my personal stuff and look at how I do things. And it was a good time.
Yeah, I have to learn more about the bullet journaling.
All right, so we're going to play a couple of fun games because it's New Year's Eve. I think we've officially introduced Doug and how we know each other.
Yeah.
If you have questions, we'll answer them.
Yeah.
So let's play 2 truths and a lie.
All right.
Are you familiar with this game? You know how to play?
Well, you tell 2 truths and a lie.
And I guess your lie, and then I'll go and you guess my lie.
All right. All right. Who's going first?
I'll give mine first and you can guess.
All right.
All right. I have lived in 4 different states.
Okay.
I met Richard Pryor. And my very first concert was Garth Brooks.
Okay. So I'm watching your eyes. I'm going to say the lie is Garth Brooks.
Oh my gosh, you're absolutely right. My first concert was Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers.
Oh, that's great. That is great though. But your tell is you got nervous. Your eyes are like, eh.
Oh, really? Yeah. I did meet Richard Pryor once.
That was cool.
On an Amtrak train. They took his double off the train and a whole crowd followed them. And my dad and I were in the lounge car. And he came in with the security guards. My dad's like, didn't we just see you leave? And he's like, that's my double so I could get a moment of peace. And he sat down and had a drink with my dad. I was like 10.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And we got to talk to him and his guards for a minute.
That's
and
cool.
I've lived in Arizona, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Florida.
All right. Yeah, you definitely have a tell. So be careful next time you play.
I used to win poker tournaments. Maybe my tell is new.
That's it. All right. So I'll go.
Okay.
Let's see. So all right. So I'm gonna go with number 1 is I'm a doctor and a reverend. Number 2 is I started writing a sequel to Christmas Vacation 2. And number 3 is I used to play drums in a Johnny Cash tribute band.
I'm going to say the doctor and reverend's the lie.
Incorrect.
So I really can see you writing a sequel. Is that the lie?
No.
Oh my God. Well, I can really see you playing drums for Johnny Cash. So
I almost did, but there were geographical limitations. But yeah, there's a really good Johnny Cash band out there from San Diego called Cashed Out. And I think I jammed with them a couple times, and it was just very
Brian said I know 2 drinks. 1.
Oh, here we go.
2.
Here's the problem when I play drinking games because I want to match.
You know, we play on drinking games and listening party, but we play with water. So that everybody's drinking their water and getting into that good habit.
There you go. That is good. All right.
So no, I didn't know you were a reverend and a doctor. I knew you were a reverend. Yes. I thought you were BS in the doctor part.
No, I have a doctorate in philosophy with a focus on comedic science from Abide University. Yes, it's an online university. And then my reverendship is from the, 2 reverendships, Church of Universal Life and the Church of the Dude. So I'm a big.
And I laugh because I know what that is.
Yes, there you go. So
I almost was going to bring a White Russian to the party for you. And then I remember whenever I mix dairy and liquor, it's
not good.
Not good.
Not good. No, that happened to me last time too. It's like,
I
and then
they taste good, but my stomach doesn't like dairy.
yeah,
Like I can do a little bit of eggnog, but it has to be like
just a little bit, a little
and
taste.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna throw some of our weird facts out there for the people to hear about us, and I guess these we can just go back and forth and just shock them as fast as we can.
Yeah, all
But you
right.
can give details if you'd like as well.
Okay, cool.
You don't just have to be like, I have 7 toes. You can tell us why you have 7 toes.
That's true. Not true that I have 7 toes,
I
but
don't either.
biological imbalance. All right, so you want me to start?
Yes.
All right, so my ultimate dream that I've always worked towards is to be an obscure and eccentric writer, where people know my stuff, but they don't know who I am. I'll be like the crazy, like a Cormac McCarthy or an F. Scott Fitzgerald, maybe.
Okay, so my first weird fact, I have wanted to be an author my whole life. And I want to be an author, but under a pseudonym. So it's almost the same.
Interesting.
Yes, I would publish under SM for Star Michelle and my maiden name, which I'm not telling.
All right. But you have done this. You have, I mean, you have some stuff published.
I do. Some erotica.
What?
We're not kidding.
They're all seller based erotica stories, right?
Yeah. So I used to write freelance, and one of my jobs was writing for a woman's erotic magazine, online, easy.
Nice.
Pay the bills.
I applied to one of those and they told me that my sample was not hot enough. So
I was embarrassed writing mine. So every time I was writing that, Keith could tell because my face would be red.
There you go. That's a good one. And you were/are a very prominent blogger. You had a pretty big blog for a while, right?
Yeah, at one time my blog's was bigger than this YouTube is.
There you go.
But it is obscure and I don't think it exists anymore.
It's probably still out there. There's remnants of Star around if you
I
look.
wish it was because I wrote some stuff, but
well, I mean, you're on there. Remnants on obviously LinkedIn, Amazon. You're on there. You came up.
You're giving all the tea.
Well, maybe people who should find your stuff.
Doug is spilling the tea.
There we go. All right. Well, all right. I'll move on with a weird fact. Okay, I do have a few books in the works. That's my next stat. I can show you. I have a box at my feet of like, if I were to die soon, there'd be a lot of incomplete stuff. That
you'd be like VC Andrews, though.
There you go.
They finished all her work for her after she died.
And oddly, all of my stories are about creepy relationships with brothers and sisters, just like VC Andrews. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. I'm like, I want to read that.
A lot of people can't tell when I'm joking, so that's another skill, I guess.
All right, so I don't like any seafood.
No seafood at all?
None.
Why is that?
I don't know why, but in my 20s, I didn't like a lot of seafood, and I told someone I don't like any seafood, and they said, you can't say that if you haven't tasted everything. And here's the story with that. So for a year of my life, when I was about 24, 25, I made it a point once a week to try something new or try something again that I thought I didn't like.
Okay.
If it came out of the water, I ate it. We're talking shark, dolphin, crocodile, turtle.
Wow.
And then it's common as salmon, tuna, cod, squid, octopus, even sushi. None of it. I don't like any of it. It all tastes the same to me. I'm not going to tell you how I think it smells. That's not appropriate for YouTube, but I don't like it. And I can't even smell it. Like Keith does like fish, but he can only get it when we go out to eat because it's the smell. I think probably because I spent a year eating something I didn't like.
Yeah.
The smell sends me.
Well, I love fish. I love seafood. I love sushi, especially. Yeah, all of it. Salmon, swordfish. Yeah, well, so I'll stop. But interesting. All right. I don't know that there's any foods that I don't like. I mean, my favorite is I really love Mexican food. So there you go.
Is that your weird fact?
That's not a weird fact, but I think
That's
too weird.
not weird. Most
But
people
I'm
would know.
I'm very picky about my Mexican food because I live in Southern California.
Yeah, it's
My
like
next
Tucson. I get it.
exactly. My next weird fact is, and we revealed this already, but I am a doctor and a reverend. So hopefully people will start using Dr. Reverend Snoop Dougie, Dr. Reverend Smith would be acceptable. The respect that I've earned by filling out those 2 short online forms and hitting submit.
My middle school principal was Dr. Smith.
Oh, interesting.
But she was a very tall, very beautiful African American woman. So no resemblance.
Oh, yeah, no, just the name and the accolade.
So my next weird fact is also about food, and this shocks people because apparently I'm like 1% of people. I do not like mayonnaise and I do not like ranch.
Okay.
I think they're made out of the same stuff too, basically. Egg whites and
Probably.
whatever. But just the sight or the smell of those will send me.
Yeah.
And I think I don't like to eat it. I think I could handle looking at it or smelling it, except I did work on a salad bar.
Mm.
I think I've immersed myself so far into foods that I don't like that now that I'm old. I'm just like, keep it away.
Yeah, well, I'm fine with either. I mean, my daughter loves ranch. She has to have it all the time. I'm not super, I'm fine with ranch, but kind of picky with my ranches. But I do love mayo. But I can't be said or shown in front of my wife, even the word mayo or mayonnaise, and she will gag.
Mm-hmm.
So, very interesting.
I hate it.
PA Dutch chicken pot pie. I haven't had a chicken pot pie in I don't know how long.
PA Dutch is different.
And so what's the deal?
It's just made different. I don't know how to explain it. I've never made one. I've eaten them. PA Dutch chicken corn soup's really good too.
I'm picky with corn.
You sound like you're picky with everything. Star, do you read murder mysteries? I do. In fact, I'm out of turn, but one of my weird facts today was to admit that I do love horror movies and horror books, but I like to read cozy mysteries. And I do watch the occasional rom-com.
The occasional what?
Rom-com.
Okay. And what's a cozy mystery? Is that one where the detective wears a sweater and it's very safe, like Encyclopedia Brown?
No, the actual definition of a cozy mystery is it's typically going to be in a series of 10 plus books. It's going to have one main character written from first perspective, be in a small town, so you'll know all the characters. And they have some romance, but they don't have a lot. They don't have a whole bunch of dirty sex scenes, or because there's mysteries that are considered erotic mysteries, or so these are their own thing. So the best example I can give is, and it's not, because if you've seen the show True Blood, it's the complete opposite of what a cozy mystery is.
All right.
The original series of books that was based upon.
Okay.
Are cozy mysteries.
So the girl moves from the big city, and there's the handyman who has to sell the inn. He's very handsome and divorced.
That's not a cozy mystery. That's romance.
Movie Network.
No, so it's usually a librarian, or sometimes they're paranormal. So you'll have a psychic or a witch that just keeps finding dead bodies and getting involved in stuff, and the police are getting suspicious. And by book 20, she's a heroine, and everyone in the town knows that she solves mysteries, and she's found the love of her life.
Interesting.
I love them because you can immerse yourself in one story basically for $20.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's good. And familiarity is good. I do like series. Well, all right. So I will do a literary weird fact as well. And Star knows this. I'm very into horror as well. And I'm very into classical literature horror. I really love Edgar Allan Poe and H.P. Lovecraft. And I'm a big Stephen King fan, but I love his, in particular, his short stories. So, and my favorite Stephen King. There you go. Yeah. And my favorite Stephen King book, oddly, is his one on writing. So, and I also, there's a lot of the early ones, and I love Dance Macabre, And my favorite short story collection of his is Night Shift.
I already knew all this because we had that talk the one night, remember?
That's true. That is true.
So my favorite Stephen King is Insomnia.
Yeah, there you go.
It was Needful Things since I was like 14, and then when Insomnia came out, it was usurped. So my next fact. I can't open cans of biscuits because they scare the shit out of me.
Biscuits. Like what kind of biscuits?
I want
Just,
to
oh,
I cannot.
all right. We can leave it at that.
They make I have to get Keith. I'm like, can you come open these?
All right. I think I know what you mean. That is terrifying. Interesting. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna combine two into one. I have completed a screenplay, which I'm gonna do some stuff with. It's called TP Diaries, which is based on my years of being a janitor and developing a friendship with this guy Brian, and he co-wrote it with me, and he has since passed away. But it's it's funny. Some people like it. And then also earlier mentioned is we did start on a sequel to Christmas Vacation. And so so it was like probably halfway, and two of us started writing it. And the story behind that is this one guy, Craig, my friend, his brother is a real estate agent like up in LA. And he was selling a house to the guy that used to run National Lampoon, talking about stuff. And he said, and if you think about it, it makes sense. He said, they were talking about National Lampoon, and he's like, yeah, well, we put stuff out, but the only thing that consistently makes us money is Christmas Vacation. So we put, they're always putting Christmas Vacation stuff out. And he said, and we've tried to do a sequel, but all the screenplays have been crap. He goes, find me somebody that can write a good screenplay to Christmas Vacation 2, and we'll make a movie. And so then he called his brother, and his brother called me. He claims I'm the funniest person he knows. But this was a bit back. So we started on this, but never finished it. But I thought it was pretty funny for what it was. What happened with Kevin Collins?
He just keeps spamming. I'm over it.
All right.
I'm done.
Yep. All right. There you go.
I have another food. I have a lot of food hangups. Okay.
I have to think if I have any.
I have two more, and they're both food related. So I have more than two. Let's get off of food for 1 second. I will tell you that I hate thrifting. And as the Grinch says, I hate, double hate.
Interesting.
Hate it. Ugh. I don't like people. That's another one of my weird facts. I don't really like people. I'm a hermit. I don't like to go out of the house.
Yeah.
But I also really enjoy walking into a store and knowing the people and them knowing me. Like when I go to the grocery store every week, she's like, hey, how you doing? And she like knows who I am. So it's like I like the small town feel and going to the same local stores all the time and being known, but I still want that big town anonymity.
So familiar anonymity is what you're seeking.
Yes, I want to go in the stores and be known, but I want to go home and no one know me.
Familiarity.
Anonymity. And so yeah, I don't really like thrifting. And if I could just stay in my house and order my groceries and my hotel and only leave like once a year for an event, because that's different. That's my homies.
There you go.
And we're isolated in a hotel and it's just us. There's no strangers. There's no shopping. There's no driving. There's none of the stuff that drives me insane about being out in society.
Yeah. And we all know each other. But I will say I have been thrifting with you. And then the other thing is I literally rarely now leave the house. So anything is super exciting because we literally here in Southern California get everything delivered to the house, even alcohol, which shocks people. So, and
it's shocking.
Get out now and then, but all right, Star, I'm going to give you one of my, what would you call it? A queasy thing or something that makes me ill. It's a shocker. Besides my own, I hate hair.
Me too. It's not on my list, but
yeah,
I can't even stand my own. When it's in the shower, I'm like,
I'm going to gag right now, probably. If I find a strand or something, it's like, especially if I don't know who it is. And so, a lot of times, even if I know who it is, it's like, no go.
I don't like it on the floor. I don't like it on the sink. I don't like it on plushies.
Exactly.
I don't like it in my hairbrush.
Or when you're sitting out somewhere and you find something, it's like, oh.
Oh, I can't stand hair either.
No
I
offense.
didn't put it on my list, but
No offense to you ladies with the long hair, but when you take the strands and drop them in random spots, it is bad. And I worked at a place once, and I had an office, and she was like everybody's assistant, very cool, but my door would be open and she sat out there. And I had told her once that I hated hair, so she would regularly say, "Hey, Doug," and then floss her teeth with a strand of her hair. And I would about pass out.
that's disgusting.
See?
It's so gross.
We got to move on.
Okay, we'll move on. So I have misophonia. And I have pulled out a definition to read to the people in case you have never heard of misophonia. People with misophonia are affected emotionally by common sounds such as chewing, breathing, yawning. It creates a fight or flight response that triggers anger and a desire to escape. So you've eaten meals with me before. I don't know if you've ever noticed how uncomfortable I am in big group settings of people eating.
No.
I drink a lot.
Is it just me eating?
I just get drunk. No. Like with Keith and I, we usually put a show on while we're eating because even with him, and he's got good manners. He chews with his mouth open, but you can still hear when you have this affliction. I can hear when people are chewing and when they open their mouth, and I can't take any of it. And my worst pet peeve in life is the people who chew like a cow. And the food, and then the ranch and the mayo, and it all circles back around to misophonia is actually common with anxiety or OCD.
Huh. I think my wife has that, but it's just directed towards me.
So. I can't. I only like watching people eat on TV, and all these new TikTokers that eat on camera because they like. No.
Yeah, it's not good.
Look at me over dramatizing.
Very interesting. All right. So a lot of people know this, but I almost played in a Johnny Cash tribute band. I've sat in with others. I started one and had to leave, but I did play for a couple of years in a Duran Duran tribute band, and that was a lot of fun. And everybody knows, especially Brian Hargis, that I'm a big Duran Duran fan, much to his chagrin. But I played in a Duran Duran tribute band called Rio for a couple of years, and we played mostly in San Diego and LA, but all the big clubs, all the House of Blueses, casinos, and it was a lot of fun. And it had its bizarre moments as well, where people literally thought we were them, or that I really was the drummer. And these were like adults. It's like I did sign autographs and took a lot of pictures, and it's like, no, I'm really not Roger Taylor from Duran Duran, but I just pretend to be.
But I'll take a picture with you and sign it for $10.
Of course, I'll take a photo with you. So.
I think I've just got one more.
All right.
Oh, I did make a note here that said I am a big contradiction when I was talking about the small town being anonymous in a big city. It's like two people warring inside of me.
Though, you say that, but it's like I can relate. I do like that. It's like that familiar anonymity. I think you want people to recognize you when you want to be recognized, but if you don't, you just want to go about your thing
and just get in and out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm very picky about meat. Now, my favorite thing to eat in the whole world, like my top 3, is steak, hamburgers, and tacos.
Okay.
But good Lord, I'm so weird about chicken. It can't be shredded. It can't be in a crock pot. Here's the thing. If it's not, and I eat everything well done, even my steaks and my hamburgers, don't come at me, bros.
All right.
Because I have a weird aversion to meat.
Okay.
And if it's not cooked a certain way, this is the admission part. I think it tastes the way wet dogs smell.
Dude. Oh, that's literally that. but I'm gonna boiled chicken. I can see it.
It tastes the way a big wet Labrador would smell.
I see it. That's brilliant. I'm not gonna say what I said again, but I could kind of see that.
Keith always asks because I'll do that. I'll say this tastes like a Christmas tree. He always says, "How do you know what things taste like if you've never eaten it before?" And I'm like, because typically your olfactory senses are connected to your taste buds, and things are going to taste the way they smell.
Interesting. Yeah, you should be like a sommelier or something.
So I can tell something smells like or tastes like a Christmas tree or a wet dog or dog poop because it tastes
Like
the way it smells.
you'd be like, there's hints of Christmas tree and wet dachshund in here.
Long hair.
Not short hair, long hair.
Just grossing ourselves out right now.
All right, so I'll give one more. This is no shocker, but you can, and Star certainly knows, but this is no shocker, and you can exaggerate it, but it is true. I love Saint Morrissey. I love Morrissey. It's my Saint Morrissey candle. I've loved Morrissey for a long time. He was the former singer of the Smiths, and now he's solo, and I love his music. I love his lyrics. I love his approach to his fans, and I love that good or bad, he literally does whatever he wants.
I'll just say this instead of typing it. Cilantro reminds me more of dish soap than lemon pledge. Like a lemon dish soap.
Yeah. And I love Mexican food, but occasionally there's something, and I think it's cilantro that makes my tongue tingle, sometimes worse than others. So I think I have an occasional allergic reaction to cilantro.
Or to lemon pledge.
To lemon pledge, that too, cleaning. Yeah. And when you said what is it? Your people eating.
Misophonia.
When you said that, I was like, I was going to be like, I hate talking on the phone too, but that's there is a phobia.
Let me look it up because I do believe Keith has that. Because we have this agreement.
Yeah.
As all relationships should and do. I deal with everyone on the phone.
Okay.
I mean, literally, even accounts that are just in his name, he talks to them one time in the beginning. Hi, this is my girlfriend. She has permission to talk about my account.
That's brilliant.
He does not, and that's, he doesn't talk on the phone. He won't clean a toilet.
Okay.
And he doesn't like to do dishes because he doesn't like wet food. He's about wet food like the way we are about hair.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't have to pull shipping. I don't have to carry anything. I don't do laundry.
Nice.
It's a fair exchange.
Well, I will do dishes. I cleaned toilets for 6 years as a profession, and I'm just not a big fan of talking on the phones. And I think it started when cell phones came out, because then you either can't hear the other person or they drop out. It's gotten better, and then the other thing is like
telephonophobia.
Telephonophobia. There you go.
Telephonophobia.
And then it's like, and hopefully my sister isn't watching this, but you'll get on the phone with her and she'll talk to other people. Mm-hmm. And you'll be like, are you talking to me? Oh no, I was talking to so-and-so. It's like, okay.
No. Grandmother will call us. I'm all whispering. And we put her on speaker so that we can both talk to her at the same time.
Yeah.
She doesn't go on speaker. So she's talking to his grandfather. And then she's like, Harry, she'll ask him a question. You hear mumbling. And she's like, did you hear him? Did you hear his answer? No, honey, because you're not on the speaker.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, telephonophobia.
I think Keith has social. I'm telling you. Hey, I spilled all the tea about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Spilled some tea about Keith. He has social anxiety.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Which is why I travel alone. But the upside to that is I can go to 50 events a year and my store is never on vacation.
Yeah, that's true. You got him there. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. I'm stretching and getting comfy.
All right. The weird facts.
Any more weird facts?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are more, but those are the ones I wrote down.
Isn't it weird that we wrote down the same exact amount?
Same. It is interesting. Same amount and a lot of crossover as well.
And the first one, was the same.
Interesting.
Now while we're friends.
There you go. There you go.
All right. We're going to now talk about goals and resolutions for 2024.
Okay.
I want to preface this with something. And I have a video coming out Monday where I'll go into more detail. I don't believe in resolutions. I think you're setting yourself up for failure in two ways. People get overzealous and set 50 resolutions, and you're never going to start 50 new habits on day one. You're just not. And the second, I think people get in a mindset of, well, I can start this next year, next week, next month.
Yeah.
And I feel like every day when I wake up, if I think there's something I could be doing better, then I'm going to just do it now.
Yeah. There you go. I think that's good. Yeah.
But I do have goals. I believe in goals, just not resolutions.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I prefer to call them revolutions, but I do have some goals. But I do like that approach. If you're going to do it, do it. And the good thing is I'm looking at my list that I'm going to write out and print out, but they're all, all stuff I've been working towards, and just, all of them are kind of in progress. So it's just stuff I want to focus a little more on in 2024, because I will have to write 2024 on a Post-it note and put it on the bottom of my computer for like a few months. So I don't think it's still 2023.
You saying Post-it note did remind me one thing I wanted to tell you. When you start consolidating all your journals into one area, if you like posties, you can still do posties. You just stick them into one book.
Exactly.
So I have posties. I have little tabbies. You can still make your little notes. Just make sure you're always doing stickies. I have stickies all through here. And I bought myself stickies with hamsters on them.
That's cute. That's cute. These are your yellow typical Post-its, but they are stuck in my erasable Rocket book. Sponsors.
So you're on the right track.
Sponsored by my friends at, can I use profanity on your show?
Sure.
Shit Talk Reviews. The top, my friend Derek Showerman and his two buddies, they're hilarious. They review heavy metal albums, but you don't have to be a heavy metal fan, I think, to enjoy the show, because they're very funny and they go deep, and but it's all heavy metal. And I give them the Snoop Dougie endorsement, if that means anything.
I did not write mine down. They're all in my head, but I want to write them down because I'll forget. Right?
Your favorite heavy metal albums?
Sure.
Your goals.
My goals. They were all in my head, and I was going to sit down this weekend mindfully.
Sorry.
So you just want to go back and forth?
All right. Yes, you go first.
All right. My big one is I want to start and be consistent with 2 podcasts.
Ooh.
I still want to do one on true crime that also does horror. I started it last year. I got like 1 episode out, and then life happened.
Yeah.
I also don't believe in the expression, I don't have time for that. We all have the same 24 hours of the day. It's just how you prioritize it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can say I didn't have time for it anymore. And what I'm telling you is it just was not a priority. It couldn't be a priority. I could not make it a priority. So
yeah, no, that's great.
I would like to pick that back up. And then I talked with Robert, and he and I want to start like a reselling podcast together.
Nice. Anything I can do to help, let me know.
I'll be sure to ask you for help, because
no, it'd be like, the workshop I did at Camp LP. It's like, this is how I did it. This is how I do it. That doesn't mean it's the great way, but this is how I do it. And it's very, very lean, very DIY, very cost effective.
And these are the notes I took at your.
Oh, thank you.
These are the notes I took at your class. They're in my book.
Oh, that's very nice. Did you write down he walks around and looks like he's disheveled?
Oh, it says he has nice hair.
Oh. I worked extra hard that day. No, but thank you.
I'm in his back.
I love people launching podcasts. I'm happy to help. So I think everybody, but interestingly, that is down my I don't want to jump ahead, but that is down my list of it. But first, one of the big things I want to do is, and I've had, I've had blogs across the board. I've had a blogspot blog, and I've had like a Medium blog. But this year I want to dial in and launch my own website with my blog on there all in one spot. So I'll have that. It'll have some old stuff and then obviously some new stuff. And then I'm just going to do, like the content, kind of the content strategy I use in, business is like just tie that into all kinds of different things. So that's my first one is launch a new website with a blog.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
So my big one, and I don't know, I'm gonna say it to make it real. I'm accountable, but I have to be in a good place in my heart and my soul to be able to do this one. I want to start writing again.
There you go.
But for me to write, I have to be. When I used to write, I was in a very bad place and depressed, and that was how I coped. I wrote. Now I'm in a very good place and I'm happy. And I'm like, how do I write when I'm not miserable?
Yeah.
How do I write when I'm so happy?
Yeah.
So I haven't written a lot. Like I don't write the way I write anymore, I guess, because I'm in a different place.
Okay.
So I have to find a new voice or just tell myself you can write while you're happy. Just put some sad music on and drink a glass of wine and just go for it, right?
There you go. That could help. Yeah, the getting in the mindset. No, that's great. I mean, yeah, I definitely want to write more. And I when I sit down to write, I never have a problem. Like I've never had writer's block, but
I haven't been able to write since I've been happy.
Interesting. Okay.
Is that weird?
No, I don't think so. I think it's
That's
interesting.
another weird admission, I guess.
Well, I think a lot of writers are like that. Is like they have to be, or they get used to a certain state and maybe put themselves in that state to write, and that can be good or bad.
It's like method acting, but
Yeah.
writing.
So yeah, method writing. But yeah, I think that's good. And just finding what works for you. So
I want to address Gretchen's comment real quick.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna tell you what Gary Vee tells people. You're never too old.
That's
Whether
right.
you're 56 or 80, you have time, you can do it. And the more you sit there and say, I'm too old to start something new or I'm too old to finish something, the older you're going to get and the more you're going to put it off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm 53 and there's a lot I still want to do. So,
and just make lists and do it.
There you go. Bullet journals. But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is don't be intimidated by it. Just do it.
Just do it. Like Nike says, that's a good slogan. Just do it.
It's a great slogan. And it's like, obviously, we're talking a lot about, and we do a lot of social media. We talk about podcasts. We talk about YouTube videos. We talk about selling. But writing, all that you can do. Anybody can write. You just sit down and just start writing. Mm-hmm. Don't let it intimidate you. Don't get intimidated by a process. Find what works for you. But, whatever it is what you want to do. It's like, I totally agree that, I was born in 1970 and, but I do believe that just do it. And there's always time and just, I think you can do anything you put your mind to. And so similarly, my next goal is to expand my music podcast, the Albums That Saved Us podcast, because I really love it and I want to do it. What? It's in the description. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, the Albums That Saved Us podcast. Thank you, Star. And it's my music podcast, and I talk about music I love, and I want to try. My goal is to record one a week, and they vary from. Some of them are 15 minutes, some of them are 30, some of them are an hour. The average is probably between 15 and 30. And I want to expand what's on there, and I want to start having guests. And I have some interesting. I have a lot of friends that make music and are into music and are music fans. And then I have some really interesting, I would say in certain circles, really big names that are interested. And the point is, it's not like, for a big person or somebody that's not super well known. It's not like, obviously we talk about who they are, and what they do, but the main focus is early music memories, what influenced you, and just going back to that. just be like, oh
That's
yeah,
really cool.
I loved so and so, and that's the thing.
That was a great voice.
Thanks, Gretchen. Thanks. I've been told that before, but I appreciate it.
If he read Stephen King books for Audible, I tell you what, I would not have insomnia anymore. I would just put little headset on and listen to Doug read me to sleep every night.
Well, pick a short story and I'll read it. I could read you one of my favorites, maybe The Boogeyman or Gray Matter, or what else? Some of those early.
The breathing method.
What's that? What do you mean?
That's one of the early short stories. It's the one where they have that secret club with the old men and the woman died and still gave birth. Do you remember that one?
Which one is it in? I think I have all the. Do you know which collection it's in? I'm
gonna look it up real quick because I don't know it off the top of my head. Don't take my king card from it.
So I'm looking at my shelf. I've got If It Bleeds, no stars. Obviously,
well, I like the rat in that one too.
Yeah, that's good. Nightmares and Dreamscapes, Bag of Bones.
Why is no one telling? This is why I don't know where it's at, because I have the actual little novella piece of it.
Oh, there you go.
They released all of his short stories as their own books now to make money.
That's true.
I think it's different seasons, but I'm gonna just Google different seasons. We're just gonna pull it off the shelf.
There we go.
My pajamas. I'm wearing pajamas.
Nice. But that's one of the things I'm going to do with my TV Diary screenplays. I think I'm going to do a podcast that is, they call it a narrative podcast, where I will just read it.
Oh, well, I will definitely be listening to that.
Oh, thank you so much. And Gretchen, too.
Chronological order, not alphabetical order. So good luck.
But, yeah, I mean, a lot of people tell me they enjoy my voice, and I think, there's some effects on it, but it's also took a while to get here. I think my voice is very nasally. I learned a lot from Griff on the eBay podcast about breathing. And then if you listen to some of my early stuff, I don't sound great, but, I've got this microphone that I get right up against, but, yeah.
I am always going to have vocal fry and a shrill voice and pant in your ear. It's just welcome to true crime.
That's right. Oh, you got the microphone thing.
I do. I just leave it in the back.
I used to use those. Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, yeah, but I always would whack my face on it.
I have to have it because when I get excited, I tend to tap my desk, and it helps.
There you go. Sound dampener.
Welcome to true crime.
There you go. I'm looking
for Dotson murder. That's what it's called.
Oh, nice. I would love to be on and we can talk about some stuff.
Excuse me. It's different seasons, I believe, by the way.
What's that? Different seasons?
I think it is, but I could be absolutely wrong. So
I have that over there. But I, so I'm going to do that. That wasn't actually on the list, and then I'm going to, my friend Refashioned Hippie, Maggie Weber, and I know some other sellers that have self-published their own books, and I love that whole thing. I used to look into it way back, and it would be like way back. There was a very big stigma around self-publishing your own stuff, and now that's not, with like Amazon Kindle and stuff like that, that doesn't exist anymore. Mm-hmm. And I tried to do the whole route where you buy the books and you'd buy the how to write your letter, and it has to be this way, and you have to do this and send it here. And I did some of those and got, some rejections. And it's just like, I'm not a big fan of rules overall. So if I can do it myself, I prefer that. So another goal is to publish at least my first book this year. And it's going to be kind of a collection of essays, like old blog posts and then some new stuff. And it's going to be called, my original website way back in the late 90s was The Pit, thepit.com. And it's going to be called The Pit and Other Related Stories or something like that. But it's going to be like short essays and music, commentary, things like that. And then some new stuff. And then I'll go from there. But it's just going to be like, not crazy, not to make money, just to get something out there. It'll be fun to have some PO print on demand. And then if you want to get it on your Kindle, that's cool. But it would be just nice I like to do stuff like that. Like when I was in my first band, we recorded 2 CDs. So it's like I like to be able to say like I've recorded, and yes, they were in the back room of a house, but we did all the work and we put two records out, and then
Yeah,
stuff like that. So that is my next one.
that's a good one. Once I get into the groove of writing, well, I'll have another goal, but I do baby steps. So first is to start writing again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my next one is going to be reseller related. And I had this goal 2 years ago, and we moved back to Pittsburgh from Florida, so it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen last year, just because when we move, we tend to like not move everything with us. So just as an example, when we left Pittsburgh to go to Florida, we had almost 5,000 active listings. We dropped down to like 1,500 to move.
Okay.
It was easier to just sell it locally and donate what didn't sell, because you pay your movers by weight.
Yeah.
So long story long, I would like to get back up to 4,000 active listings because we are volume sellers. I buy a lot of wholesale, so I get a lot of items for $1 or less a piece. And I do have 99-cent days still available here. So we can buy all the things.
Yeah.
It's just we have to not, we're like at almost 3,000, so we have to not move again, because that's why we didn't reach it this year, because we'd moved here right after Halloween last year, or right before Halloween. So we had dropped down again.
Okay.
So I would like to get 4,000 active listings on eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark.
There you go.
Everything lists perfectly. 30% off your first month with code Hippos.
Flippin' Hippos. Yeah, no, that's great. And interestingly, my next one, we're so simpatico, Star. My next one is, believe it or not, reseller related. So I always say this is like, yes, I've sold, yes, I can, talk the talk, and I'm familiar, obviously, and I know a lot of sellers. I'm not a high volume seller. I joke that I'm a three figure seller, which is true. Is like I get excited if I make a couple hundred a month, but I only have a couple things listed now. But my thing is I have all this stuff in bins, my 2 cell bins. So my commitment is I have and I have a ton of books that my friend is like, I'm either going to donate this or you can have them to sell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my 2 list bins and hardcore purge and get rid of some stuff and really dial it in. I'm going to donate the books, and then I'm going to really dial it into those. I joke about my 5 clear bins, and then I'm going to narrow it down to those and then sell those. But the rest of the stuff I'm going to get rid of, and I'm going to be hardcore about it. I'm going to comp some stuff and see what's going to sell and what's not, instead of just having everything. And so that is what I want to do this year. So I'll probably be, obviously, eBay. I like Mercari, Poshmark, maybe Etsy, maybe Depop, and then maybe mess around a little bit with maybe Facebook. And I was going to do the books on Amazon, but I also I'm really into live selling, like, Whatnot and TikTok, what they're going to do. So might mess around with some of that, but I kind of realized at some point that I don't want to be a full-time seller. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
it's not my thing. I love the seller community. I love everybody. I love all the stories, but it's not something I want to do. I want to do content. So, at some point I want to do my own stuff and just kind of ease back into that. And then, get to that goal where I'm that obscure, eccentric writer. One of my dreams, I wanted to be interviewed by David Letterman or maybe Oprah, as he's come out of his hovel, his hobbit hut to
I've
come.
thought of that too before, like how hermity I am.
Yeah,
If I could go live in the cabin in the middle of the woods,
that's right.
people just leave me alone to write my books.
Yeah,
And then like someday they're like, she's coming out of the woods to meet the people.
Well, and I don't want to be famous, and it'd be nice to be rich, but enough to get by would be good. And just, getting the stuff out there. So I know that went off the rails a bit, which is pretty typical with me. But
Yeah, well, I'm going to go totally off topic. I keep seeing lights under your door. Is that Moose and Kevin as they're walking back and forth?
so, yeah, I think it is. I mean, we can let them in.
Please.
You want to let them in? All right. Okay, hang on.
Y'all are in for a treat.
They're usually when I work. So obviously I work from home for List Perfectly, and this is obviously my teenage boy bedroom office. But when I'm in here, we tell them literally like go to work or come to, and they'll go in here and they lay down. Their beds aren't in here, but they'll mill around. But yeah, I'm sure exactly what it is. They're sniffing at the door to get in. Because earlier before we started, Kevin wanted to come in, but Moose did not. So Kevin's the bigger, Moose is the smaller. So let's
Well,
see.
one's brown and one's black, right?
Well, they're both black, but one is darker.
One always looks brown next to the other one to me.
Oh, yeah, he's got a little bit of they call it brindle. All right, so let's see what's going on. Hang on.
You're in for a treat. Kevin and Moose are.
You won't see my pajama bottoms.
Yeah, he probably actually gets dressed for work.
Hopefully, my pants are pulled up.
Hopefully, his pants are pulled up. So we're gonna. Oh, he's actually wearing real shorts. Look at him. He doesn't wear pajamas to work. Now they don't want to come in. Moose and Kevin. Look at the dogs. Look at the tail. Here comes the other one. Hi, guys. Hi, Moose and Kevin.
All right. All right. Well, Kevin definitely heard you, so
that has made my whole day. Hi, Moose and Kevin.
See, they're gonna lay down now.
For reference, I love all animals.
Yes.
My friends' animals I've only ever met on the internet, animals in Australia that don't even know I exist. I love them. Mm-hmm. 8 people love animals.
Animals are awesome. I'm especially a dog fan.
All right, so my next one's short and sweet.
All right.
I'm going to get on Etsy this year.
Nice. I think you should. Check.
I have a lot of vintage plush, so
that'll be fun. You can do it.
I'm not a big fan of snakes, but they still have cute faces, and they're still better than most people.
Pretty much.
They're like lizards without legs, and lizards are cute.
My son had a I forget what kind of lizard it was for a while. A bearded dragon.
Keith's uncle had an iguana.
Yeah, lizards are wacky. My son went through a big lizard phase for a while, so we'll see. But yeah, I think you can totally get on Etsy, and List Perfectly will help you.
Yes.
And I actually, and not like full-time hardcore, but I'm helping a couple of people launch podcasts, so I'm excited about that. So you'll see a couple other podcasts. I'm working on one that my wife will work on with a 3 or 4 time Olympian that she works with. So she does. My wife used to throw shot put and discus in high school, and my son does it, and she's his coach. And she works with an Olympian, Lisa Missy Pika, who is 3 or 4 time Olympian, bronze medalist. And so they're going to launch a podcast. So I'm just going to help more produce that in the back end. And then, I already talked about, I want to do the TP Diaries podcast, and that'll be where I'll read the narrative version of the screenplay. And then again, just expand the albums. And, Seller Community Podcast will still be there. And these are all non-List Perfectly related goals. Like there's a whole list of List Perfectly goals. We're going to grow the podcast, add a bunch of new stuff. We're going to grow Listing Party. I'm leaning more into that. And so, but just, that whole holistic, I guess you would say, content philosophy. And I'm bleeding into another one. I'm going to be more active on my own social media, just leaning into different things. I'm super excited. I hit 1,000 followers on TikTok, so I will go live. I almost was going to go live today during this, but we'll see what kind of abuse I get. But yeah, just more going to focus on short form video, just more of that stuff, and just kind of using that to have mostly for fun. I'm not looking to. I mean, it'd be always nice to monetize.
Well, you don't want to do it if it's not fun.
That's right.
Even if you're getting paid, right?
Anything. Yeah, exactly. I always try to have fun and pretty much do my own thing within reason.
So my next one has a visual. I do diamond dot paintings. Everyone knows. And that's where my true crime podcast got its name. It's Dots and Murder. Because I sit and do those while I listen to true crime. And Keith always says, "Are you doing your dots and murder?" So I thought it would be fun to do a podcast of true crime, but then also publish it on YouTube, and it would just be an aerial of me doing dots while I'm talking. I wouldn't have a camera. Yeah.
Would you have guests or no?
Probably eventually. I only have one. Do you want to see it? It's so cringy.
It's not cringy at all.
It's
if you're into it, it's not.
No, it's actually pretty good for being the first one. If I say so myself.
Well, while you bring it up, I would love to, or at some point, even on your listing party, I would love to discuss the Son of Sam and then the late 70s Monroe, New York sniper. I was a little kid when that all happened. So there you go.
Bundy was my mom's. You know, every parent has like that monster, that myth. They tell you, be good or so-and-so is going to get you or eat you.
She told you Bundy would come get you?
Yeah. Don't talk to strangers. Don't help people, even if they look like they're in a cast and they look like they need help. That's how Bundy got people.
Wow.
Yeah, she was pretty wild. But she was the age of his victims with the same hair and same. She looked like his.
Okay, there you go.
His type. So I'm going to go ahead and learn how to use my computer first.
Okay. Yes, that's good. I can always advise on that.
I'll share my screen and let it just play for a couple of seconds, and just give you an idea. Because I did get one done back in April, but then it was not a priority.
Okay. You got to go big.
So that's what it'll be.
That's good. I like it. That's fun.
It'll be me doing that and talking. But that was a really long-winded story to get to the point. When I was in my 20s, I used to cross stitch. Then I started doing dots, the diamond dots.
Okay.
I don't know that I'm just going to be able to pick it up like riding a bike. So I have to reteach myself.
Okay.
But I got a kit. And as you can guess, it's a ham.
All right. What is that? A little, hamster? Chinchilla?
It's a ham. I love hams.
Cute.
I'm going to do this. I do have a listing party for those of you that have List Perfectly. Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's called Crafting Solutions or Creative stuff. I don't even know what my own listing party is called. Creative something. I co-host it with my friend Dawn. He's been on this channel. And we sit around and we do crafts. So this is something I'm going to do and put the dots on hold while I relearn how to cross stitch.
All right. That is cool. So how long does something like that take?
It depends. Like, I don't even remember how to cross stitch. But like a diamond dot, if I work on it like an hour a night, a month or two.
Wow.
The one I'm on now, I've been working on since before Florida, so since 2021. Because I don't work on it that often. But.
Wow, that's cool though. Interesting. Wow.
Right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more to talk about. I don't know how many more you have.
Let me see. I have a couple. So is it my turn then?
It is your turn.
All right. So yeah, and this is an interesting topic. So I'm nowhere. I don't think of myself as an expert in anything, and especially in this, but I'm very interested and I follow it pretty closely. I'm very interested in AI, artificial intelligence, and different ways to leverage that for different things. So, I talk a lot of it, a lot. Talk with my friend Scott about it a lot and different types of things. And I'm more into the content side of things, and he's more into he's very into it's called stable diffusion, so like image generation, video generation, and I'm into some of that, but I'm more into like, what can it do with content, how can it help us? And obviously I don't want it to write, I don't want it to develop content just on its own. I always think that you should review it and, re-edit it and do put your own touch on it. But I think AI is really interesting, and I think it's going to be huge this next year, the next couple of years, and it'd be very interesting just to see where it goes. But I want to leverage it because I think it's a very powerful tool. But it is a tool, and a tool it depends on the way you use it. It's like, a lot of people are freaked out by it, but it just depends on how it's used.
So, fun fact, I did use Chat GPT for a lot of my research and writing the scripts for my true crime podcasts.
Okay, there you go.
I have more written. I only ever actually edited the audio and made the actual one. And it's not a podcast anywhere. It's only on YouTube because I don't know how to do podcasts.
Yeah.
But I have 3 or 4 more written. And like you said, it's a tool. So I can ask it, hey, how many victims did Ted Bundy have? But I have to make sure that it's correct.
Yes.
Although I would know by looking, but
yeah, I know what you're saying though. And that's the thing is I know music pretty well, especially like 70s, 80s music. So I test stuff with music, and I've done some stuff with Chat GPT for the Albums That Save Us podcast. And sometimes it's spot on and sometimes it's blatantly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple examples where it's like it's just made stuff up. And it's interesting because it's like, I asked it about a San Diego band, and it's like they're obscure, but there's stuff out there that it should have been able to find. And it was just interesting that it basically made up a whole band. And it's like, that's not true.
It'll tell you a story.
Yeah. And there have been a couple where I'm like that, with bands I know really well. It's like, that song's not on that album, and I think it's got a ways to go, but I think it's a very interesting technology right now. And it's got a lot of uses, and a lot of people are jumping into it. And I think
and you can train it. You can tell it what it did wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And it will get better.
Yeah, that's going to get better too.
You can tell it that quote is not from Halloween. That's from Nightmare on Elm Street. And next time someone asks for a quote from Halloween, it will know that one is Nightmare on Elm Street. Mm-hmm. You can train them. Michelle, one of our friends from List Perfectly, she trained it to write something for, I believe it was automotive or something, but she just kept recorrecting it and retelling it information until she got it to do exactly what she wanted it to do. It was really cool.
Yeah. And it's supposed to keep learning, and it learns so fast. So the challenge now, it's like AI learns so fast. It's gotten to the point where it's learning from itself. So it's pulling data in that may not be necessarily 100% correct. So that's always a challenge too. So it's like you always got to check it. You always got to review it yourself and, double check your facts and all that. But, and I think it's going to come more into reselling. Because like, obviously, we've talked about, I don't want to, turn into a plug or commercial, but List Perfectly has, AI tools that help develop listings.
I think someone's at my door. So I'm going to do the uncouth host thing and leave you alone for a minute to hold down the
phone. All right, everybody. Thanks. It's now, I sent somebody to knock on Star's door, so now it's my show. I think her tamales may be ready. But one thing I will do, so I'll do my last goal. I really want to listen to more podcasts in 2024. I know it's, I think it's crazy. I don't listen to a ton of podcasts, so I think, I do it for a living and I help people with it. I think I need to listen to more, vary what I listen to. There are a lot of podcasts I've listened to like one episode of, but I really need to listen to a lot more, and listen to a lot more seller podcasts, obviously listen to a lot more music podcasts. But there's a lot of great content out there, and just listen, see what other people are doing. And there are a ton of great seller podcasts out there right now. And that's something we want to do it List Perfectly with the Seller Community podcast. And I know Griff wants to do with the eBay for Business podcast is kind of spread the word as to all the seller resource podcasts that are out there from all the different perspectives and just, us all out there contributing to the community and helping and just, spreading that word. I'm still talking.
It was a false alarm with Keith.
Okay.
I had a delivery from Amazon and I heard the front door and I didn't know he was home. I thought he went somewhere. So,
all right. But your tamales must be about ready.
Chicken tortilla soup.
Chicken tortilla. Oh, I love chicken tortillas.
I make killer chicken.
I bet.
Well,
at some hotel somewhere, you'll have to make me some chicken tortilla soup.
Yeah,
in a hotel lobby somewhere.
Give you my recipe
at night. Well, maybe we'll do that. That's the next thing we'll do. We'll set up a cooking station by the shipping station.
And that leads into my next goal. So I used to do little reels under a minute long of cooking videos called Hungry Hippos. And it was just an aerial view of all the ingredients and me putting it together. It was just like a minute long. It really didn't teach you how to make it, but you could see what went in and the finished product. And then I would have a link to an actual written version of the recipe. People could just copy if they wanted it.
Okay.
So that and just reels and content in general, I've been kind of like the last half of this year only just focusing on long form YouTube.
Yeah.
Because again, the other things weren't a priority for me to make the time for them.
Yeah, exactly.
We were doing things that were making us money because it was Q4 and we had more shipping to do and more stuff was selling. You had to list more and but I do want to get back into like making a couple reels a week, getting back onto TikTok and trying to get monetized over there, making sure I'm doing the long form on Facebook, all the things I know to do. I have a list that Terry, American Arbitrage, gave me at FlipCon, and I haven't implemented anything. But yeah, that's my goal, to be more on the social media and the content creation and try to find balance with the other stuff I do.
Yeah. And I totally agree with what you said too. It's like, we're all busy, but we also have 24 hours in the day. And it's just like what you choose to prioritize. And, our friend, because he's been and continues to be a huge influence on me, Gary V. He's like, used to be a little more hardcore on this, but he's like, hey, if you choose to play video games for 12 hours a day, that's fine, but don't complain that you're not following your dream. It's like you are choosing where to put your time. It's like,
well, that might be your dream.
And that could be your dream, but he's just, don't gripe about it if you're not doing it. And just, it's all a choice into what we do. But, I have that same thing. I want to put out more content. And who's killing it is Maggie Weber, Refashioned Hippie. She's putting out a ton of content and it's hilarious. And
it's so funny.
It is funny.
In fact, I need to make myself a note to reach out to her.
Yeah, just reach out.
So I can get her on here. I'm scheduled through March. I don't like to ask people because 3 months from now they forget. I was supposed to be on there. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, I need to ask her. I'll just ask her. She can put me on the schedule somewhere.
She'll get there. But she's really busy now doing content.
And she's hilarious. You guys, I cannot watch her if I have to pee because I'll pee my pants. I mean, she's literally that funny.
I watched something this morning and I was just cracking up. And it's just...
she's almost self-depreciating in a way.
Yeah, there is that.
She's very nerdy and she comes on like, you guys.
Yeah, what is this? And she's got a couple of books out too that are on Amazon that are hilarious. She's got a book about selling. She's got a book about her years in thrift stores before she started selling. That's hilarious too. But yeah, she's putting out some really, really great content and really leaned into it over the past year and is doing great. So
I wrote you on the 10th.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
And you all saw when my gas bill is due. Remind me.
I'm glad that I'll try to remember to remind you. So, that's the thing is, just to do a plug because it's what I do. So over on List Perfectly's listing party, Star's got, I don't know how many shows, but I have one that is going to be weekly again, 12 o'clock Pacific time. And sometimes I talk about, I try not to be, I mean, I try to just talk about random stuff. Reselling comes up. We try to have fun, but, we talk about Star Wars or this or that. But I'm also going to start having, since it's going to be more regular, I'm going to start having guests on. So Star is going to be the second new guest. I think next week I may have, maybe I will have Maggie Weber on if she can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And just, kind of what I do with the podcast too is just helping people spread their story, talk about what they do, what they want to do, and leverage all my buddies in the community.
So that leads into my next one.
Okay.
Something you just said. Oh, List Perfectly. So I have 2 parties. I have Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. We do crafting, 8 p.m. Eastern. Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern, we do true crime and lists. We just basically work and talk about murder, how to get away with it, who did it,
Exactly.
Dateline, whatever we want to talk about.
That's what went terribly wrong for Star Bryson. He thought she could trust Keith, but boy, was she wrong.
Oh, I was about to say, and when Keith went missing and they checked her search history. But so both of my listing parties right now are fun. They're just for fun.
Yep.
And, I do a lot of teaching on YouTube. I'm monetized. I make money there. So I had to get over this, I almost want to say like snotty thing in my own head. I'm going to be truthful here. Listen, this is the end of the year where we spilled the tea. We're doing confession time. And I've told other people how I feel. That because I spent 7 years building a YouTube and getting monetized, and it is a stream of income for me.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to go somewhere to teach stuff to people where I'm doing it for free. I know that sounds snobby, but it's true.
Makes sense.
Like my time is money.
Yeah.
And the true crime, I actually am taking photographs or working in some capacity while we're talking. And the crafting, that's my night to craft. And I just said, well, I should be doing this with other people. That's my dots and murder night. And I was up here one night. I could be having like a whole group of people in here with me on a Zoom call, like having fun. So those were easy to implement. But I think it would behoove me. It would behoove me monetarily if that's the hurdle I need to get over in my own brain, because there's a lot of people that go to these parties who've never heard of me and don't know who I am. Yeah. And they might start watching my YouTube. I could make new friends. I make new friends every time I go to an event. So you have to prioritize your time. Yeah. I have to see where I can fit it in and come up with an idea of what I could teach or something I could do. Maybe I could do like a weekly planning and bullet journal or just something where I'm teaching and giving back to the community. It's not so much just like a fun party.
Yeah. And you could always just be like, hey, for more, I'm over on YouTube. This is what I do over here.
But I want to, there's this degree of separation, I guess, from List Perfectly parties to YouTube. Yeah. And I have a lot to give and I have a lot to teach and I love to help people. And the people at List Perfectly aren't getting that from me. Yeah. They don't know who I am. They don't know my YouTube. I have so much to give and teach.
Yeah, but mention it. You've got
sure.
For a star for commercial opportunity.
That's my nerd face. My all shucks face. But no, I mean, that's why I started doing YouTube anyway, because I used to work in the healthcare field and I miss taking care of people. So teaching and helping is the closest I can get. Yeah. Being a cripple and stuck in a chair, that's what I can do.
There you go. Well, it's very helpful. You're always been an excellent resource to the seller community.
Thank you.
Thanks. I mean, you're welcome.
So that's that. Time for confession. I don't like to do stuff if I'm not making money.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, it makes sense. It's like, and I think they can complement each other, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. I've only got 2 more, but they tie into each other. So you go.
Oh, I'm through my list. I mean, I can make some stuff up, but
Oh, I have so much more improvement. I've been doing really good with our walks.
That's
When
good.
it was nice out, Keith and I would go for an hour every day.
Wow, that's solid.
And it was solid. So that's our business meeting time though. So
That's good too.
if this is how we brainstorm, we go for a walk and we're like, how can we list more every day? How can we source more? Where can we source more? This is our like time where we do our business meetings. And now it's cold out, so I'm doing the treadmill.
Yeah.
And talks to me because otherwise I just feel like a little hamster on a wheel. So I want to keep up with it. I've been really good all year. Like I've very rarely missed a day. Like I take a day or two off a week on purpose.
Okay. Yeah, you should.
Other than being like deathly ill or in the hospital because I got bit by a tick.
Ugh.
I've been really good. And I have been pretty mindful about what I eat. I need to be more mindful of what I'm shoving in my fat mouth. And the late night snacking for me is that's my downfall. And it's
too.
More I'm not a sweet tooth. I don't like a lot of sweets, but it's popcorn and chips and nachos.
Yeah.
It's because I have insomnia and I stay up late reading books and watching movies, and then I want a snack.
Exactly.
But during the day, it's like two different people. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's like a healthy, kind bar for breakfast, and 2 of these of water, and a salad for lunch, and carrot and celery sticks for a snack, and maybe a boiled egg. And then at night, it's like chips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the same way, just like that.
So I need to just pick one day a week where I'm allowed to cheat.
There you go. Just everything across the board.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even really, I drink like once a week, once every 2 weeks I have a glass of wine anymore because I realize that's a lot of empty calories.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
But yeah, I need just like a cheat day. That's my movie night and snacks and alcohol if I want it. Yeah. But I don't know how not to eat at night. I have to figure something out. I'll Google it. I'll find a guru or a coach or something.
Well, I mean, they say if you are hungry late at night, it actually means you're tired. You should drink water or go to bed. Or I've even seen eat frozen grapes.
I believe that because I have insomnia, so I'm always tired.
Yeah, I think that's what I've learned too is like, oh, let's have some chips. And it's like, yeah, should probably just go to bed. So, because I try to stay up late too.
There's times where I try to ignore it and not have a snack or eat. And I wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, my stomach grumbling and nauseous from hunger.
Okay.
And I'm like really hungry.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't have that.
My insomnia and my eating.
Yeah.
They get together and they're like, how can we sabotage her?
I have no problem sleeping.
Well, I'm jealous of that, but I gotta ask you because I ask everybody who comes on here.
Yeah.
I think we've pretty much answered it. But I think it's important to balance your work and your life.
Yeah.
So what do you do to unwind?
I try to have a decent work balance. I try to maintain a schedule like for List Perfectly for, what I work. I try to maintain a set schedule. And then, just relax with family. My wife has been my best friend for 30 something years. So just hang out with her, do stuff with her. And we watch movies and we hang out and then hang out with the kids. And then I need to make sure I get just that downtime at night and definitely on the weekends. And then I always say is like I like to take a week off in the summer and then a week off at the end of the year to totally disconnect. But yeah, definitely maintain that work balance. And for I've worked remotely from home for a long time, for many years, for many different companies, and I always say it's not for everybody. I think the key is to literally have an office where you can go, to try and set times, to make sure you take breaks, make sure you take lunch, because it's easy to and I really think too, like for a lot of remote workers, they tend to work longer, they tend to um be more productive because you don't have as many distractions.
Mm-hmm.
But I also said this too is like the
They have
challenge,
more distractions too.
more distractions, then you have to focus that like I can't sit in front of the TV and work. I have to be focused like I'm literally at an office. It's like I know it looks like a ridiculous teenage boy's bedroom, and it's basically a recreation of my teenage bedroom, except it was more posters and albums hanging on the wall, but a lot of the same bands, will say that. But just a place that you like, that's comfortable, and just a place to work, a place to go where you can close the door. And again, I love that the dogs, work with me and they're down there all the time and we have a set routine, but I take breaks. I make sure I get a lunch every day. And then just have that family time. And it's tough for my wife because she works 12-hour days. She's an instructional aide at a middle school, and then she's a coach, for high school sports. So
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't get home till 7:30 at night. So we spend some time. We have as many family dinners as we can. We try to do family stuff, and then, like you and Keith, as we relax, we watch movies. We like a lot of the same movies. We watch a lot of horror movies. We watch movies together. I can't believe I convinced her to watch Oppenheimer yesterday. So we watched that. It took us
I
like
can't believe I got Keith to watch Barbie with me last weekend.
no, Barbie's a little more fun and light than Oppenheimer, but took us about 50 hours to get through it. But and no, yeah, we watch movies and we hang out. We love to find a show and binge shows.
Mm-hmm.
Then we do that and just hang out. We were at a winery yesterday. That was fun. But family time's important. I love hanging out with the dogs too. And I read as much as I can. I like to read. I need to write more. And then occasionally I play video games. But I think the big thing, the short answer to your question instead of my long-winded answer, is just make sure you focus on work, but make sure you give yourself breaks. Make sure you take lunch. Make sure you reward yourself. I love the term give yourself some grace. So give yourself a break. Take
Mm-hmm.
that. And then nap. Hey, it's my daughter. Hello. We're on YouTube. Thousands of people.
Thousands.
Famous.
I think that taking a lunch break is so important. I have a lot of friends who work at the desk, and you need that break in the middle of the day. I like to read while I eat my lunch.
Yeah, me too.
It's a break from Keith too. Like,
yeah,
we take lunch. We used to take lunch together, but we decided that I missed reading because whenever I worked outside of the house, the lunch break was a guaranteed chunk of time I could give myself every day to read.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what else is going on. And so I said, well, we already eat dinner together, and I have my whole chewing noise thing. So
yeah,
he takes his and he reads his news on his video games, and then I take mine right after him, and I can read in peace. No one else is chewing.
Exactly.
And then I come back to work, but it's a nice break between working, break, and then working.
And get away from that desk. Get away from that work area. Don't eat at your desk. Go somewhere.
A lot of people do.
I know. I usually, unless there's a weather issue, I usually go sit in the backyard with the dogs, and I'm like on the ground with them. And dogs they try to get some food, but they're pretty good, and we all lay out there in the sun and eat, and then just hang out. And I read a bit, and but yeah, I do think it's important not to eat at your desk. And obviously there's always
that's not healthy either.
No, and there's always times when deadlines or crunches or things like that, but just set yourself some hours. And even for you sellers, it's like I know so many sellers that work so much. It's like you need to set yourself some hours and make sure you've got that balance, because I have had times in my life where I worked multiple jobs as a contractor, and I got burned out and got sick. And you just get like if your only break is going to have dinner for an hour and then you got to get back to work, that's not good.
No.
We work long, and we work, what is it, 40 something hours. If you have a full-time job, you work 40 something hours a year, and you're lucky to get a couple weeks of vacation a year, and make sure you take that time too.
Right, this is where I usually ask people, what are you going to do this weekend? But it's a special weekend. So I'm going to want to know what you are going to be doing on New Year's Eve.
Hang on. First of all, I have to address a printer issue. So hang on one sec.
Okay. So while Doug does that, I'm going to make an announcement here to all 10 of you that are still watching. And the official video will drop tomorrow, but our 2024 guides are ready and available. The links are down below in the description, and you can go to flippinhippos.com to the training guides if you want to read more about what they contain before the video drops tomorrow morning. Or you can wait for that. I actually show sneak peeks of the guides, and they are all updated for 2024. But don't pay full price because they're on sale. So use HIPPO New Year and get 50% off.
There you go. Good.
All right.
So, what am I doing New Year's? So let's see. I've been off a bit, so this has been nice. I go back to work officially on Tuesday for, back to LP, and, looking forward to hitting the ground running in 2024. So we're going to kick back this weekend. Obviously, I had a huge list of house stuff I wanted to do. Some of it I got done, but you're not going to get everything done. But we traditionally do not. What's that?
I'm sorry, your puppy's distracting me. Hi.
He wants.
I love you.
What are you doing? He wants to go out, I think. But we traditionally have not gone out New Year's Eve. We try to have a nice dinner, so we'll probably get lobster or crab or something like that, or maybe steak or something. And then we usually watch the East Coast ball drop, which is like 9:00 our time. Yeah. And then we are fans of Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper, so we'll do that. And then but just hang out. And my wife usually goes to bed, about 10 or 11, and then I stay up later. So, but we just shut in and kick back and just spend time together. I can't remember the last time we went out to a party. I think one year we went to a friend's party, and then but the kids are going out, and we were like, be careful driving, it's going to be crazy. Yeah. But just shut in and watch CNN. How about you guys?
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened last year. His grandmother, who's a night owl, calls me at midnight, Happy New Year. And I said, well, your grandson's already in bed.
Go.
So we're going to have tacos.
Fun.
I told him I wanted to make a special meal. I love to cook. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
I want to make a special meal for Christmas Eve and New Year's. And I already knew what he was going to pick. And so there's a reason I let him pick Christmas Eve. His favorite thing in the whole world is hamburgers.
Okay.
But I make mine with chuck and steak seasoning.
Nice.
Bacon, and he loves them. And I knew it was going to be 60 degrees Christmas Eve, and I could grill.
Very good.
My pick was New Year's Eve, and we're having tacos, homemade refried beans, homemade Spanish rice.
Nice.
And we are going to watch. We haven't gotten around to the Gremlins this Christmas season somehow.
Okay.
So we're going to watch both of those. And we're revisiting the new Doctor Who, the new Who.
Okay.
From Dr. 9 on. For the third time, but
fun.
We've been watching that, so we're going to watch it.
That's cool, yeah.
We're exciting people.
Yeah, well,
we're just like you guys. We pick shows, we watch. We just redid Scrubs.
Oh, that's a good one. I was a big fan of that show. That was a fun show. Very funny. And a little, underrated.
Yeah, it's really good. We were going to redo Big Bang, but I'm like, I need a break from comedy. And he's like, well, the new Doctor Who is coming out. Not the new Doctor. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it's confusing. But he regenerates and he gets a new number, and we have a new actor coming in. I said, well, let's rewatch him. He's like, we've already seen him too. I'm like,
Did you watch the Follow the House of Usher? Follow the House of Usher on Netflix?
5 star, 10 stars out of 5.
Yeah, it was really good. It's my favorite. And I never thought they would beat the first. but it's my favorite. You know, it's not technically not Haunting of Hill House, but it's the same guys, same producer, same.
Michael Flanagan.
There you go. Yeah, he does some good stuff. He's done a
He's
lot of
done
great stuff
Stephen
on
King.
Netflix. Yeah.
He did Gerald's Game and what is the sequel to The Shining?
Oh, the Doctor Sleep,
Doctor Sleep
which
and
is very,
Gerald's Game.
yeah,
He has the rights to the Dark Tower.
interesting. Okay.
And he is over his contract. Look, you got me started on something I actually know about. His contract with Netflix is through, and he has signed on with Amazon, and he will be doing a full-length, like multi-season series for the Dark Tower.
That's cool. Yeah, I've heard about that, and they've done that a bunch, but he'll do a good job. He did a lot of great stuff for Netflix.
Yeah, I actually liked Midnight Mass.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. That was really good too.
That was better than Bly Manor or
Yeah,
because it was so Stephen King-y.
yeah, exactly.
It was almost like Salem's Lot, kind of.
Well, and you like that, so there you go. You like that little town familiarity with all the characters where you know everybody.
Yes. And
See,
the actors he works with are phenomenal actors.
Got a great crew, yeah. But
phenomenal. But I
yeah.
love Edgar Allan Poe, and I thought there's no way he's going to pull this off the way he did Turn to the Screw and Shirley Jackson's book. And I was like, and then when Keith, you could ask Keith, he was so annoyed because I was really geeking out. I was like reciting the Poe, like doing this arm and reciting the Poe poems with the people and screaming and yelling and woo! I can't believe he did it! He did it! He's like, "Are you going to watch it?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to enjoy it."
There you go. Exactly. Get into it.
On a midnight dreary.
Yeah, there were a lot of good little Poe references sprinkled throughout, so it was really good. I really liked it.
I mean, I really geeked out. Like I was yelling, and that was the best thing I've seen all year.
And then it's exciting. So for H.P. Lovecraft fans, James Wan, who we like, is going to do. You know, obviously we love him. He's done a lot of cool stuff. Mostly cool stuff. There's some stuff in there that's a little iffy, but I'm a fan of his and Blumhouse and all that. And he's going to do Lovecraft's Call of Cthulhu, and then our buddy Guillermo del Toro has been wanting to do At the Mountains of Madness for years.
I love him.
One of my favorite Poe, favorite Lovecraft stories.
You said Poe. We have Poe on the mind.
Yeah, I do. So
yeah, that if y'all haven't seen it, even if you don't like Poe and won't get the Poe references, it's an amazing story. And the actors.
Yeah. You don't need to. You don't even need to get the Poe references. It's so well done.
Yep. All right. On that note, I'm going to thank everyone that was here live for taking time out of your day to spend with us. And if you're watching the replay, I appreciate you too, just as much. Your time is very valuable, and that you chose to spend it with me and Doug is really important to me. It helps me continue to do what I do on YouTube, because without you guys, I'd just be talking to a wall. And thank you, Doug, for coming on.
Yeah, no, thanks everybody for being here. And like Star said, yeah, thanks for being here live. Thanks for watching after the fact. We know, you know, this will be out there forever. So,
forever?
That's right.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
And Star, thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And then enjoy your chicken tortilla soup. I have no idea. Oh, I know what we're having for dinner. I'm making it. I'm doing pork chops. And I've got the flat top griddle. So we're going to bake the chops first and then finish them off on the griddle. But I'm very excited because I'm going to do mushrooms and onions. And I've got the garlic shallots. So we're going to do some of those and really crisp them up. Have some wine. It's going to be good.
It's going to be delicious.
I'm
jealous. I'm jealous, and I'm over here eating one of the best soups in the world.
Oh, it'll be great. Your soup will be lovely.
Do you have any last words of wisdom for the people?
You know, I always say, and it's like, you know, this is straight from Gary Vee because he changed my life. And one of my dreams is one day just to grab him and be like, and this happens all the time. It's like, thanks, man. You were really motivating. And it ties into some of the stuff that came up earlier. It's like, I really think you can, especially now with the tools we have, you can pursue your dreams. Just get out there and do it. Don't let anybody else put you down. Do what you want to do. At least try it. Even if you're doing it on the side, you know, not just selling. If you want to write, if you want to do videos, if you want to make movies, if you want to record music, and, you know, I'm very more on the content side, but I really think there's so many opportunities right now, more than there probably ever been in our history. And just get out there and do it. And then, too, is like then there are people that are doing it, and we're not just talking about reselling because we talk about it so much, but there are people that are doing it that are out there willing to help you do it. So tools like YouTube or podcasts is like if you want to become a cook, watch videos, learn from these people, ask them questions. But
You can be self-taught on anything.
you can be self-taught on anything, and I think as long as you apply yourself and don't let what is it, from another great show, Handmaid's Tale, great book as well.
Yes, I like the book.
Don't let the bastards get you down. Yeah, and
I've never seen the show, but
you should see it. It's great.
I really, really like the book and the sequel. Totally off topic. I'm such a book nerd. You can't mention something. I'm like, the book was better. I love the book.
Well, grab it off the shelf. I've got a bunch over there as well. But yeah, just to quote Nike, just do it.
Just do it. My last words of wisdom are always to tell the people to remember to take time off this weekend to spend with your friends, your family, your pets. Don't work yourself to death, because then you're no good for yourself, your business, or anyone else. But this is a special weekend again, so I do want to take just a second to remind everyone to please drink responsibly.
Yeah.
Especially in 2023, there is no excuse to drive drunk. We have Ubers, we have Lyfts, we have taxis, we have friends, and you can drink at home. You can have stuff delivered. This is one of my soapboxes. I'm very much, I don't mind if people drink. Get drunk, take your clothes off, and lay down in your backyard, and I don't care what you do. Just don't drive.
That's right. Be responsible. Naked.
Drink responsibly.
So, no, definitely.
And have a good rest of the year. You've got 2.5 days left. Make them worth it. Don't just throw 2023 in the trash and act like, we've only got 2. You got 2 more days to make this year really, really count and to do something really great. And then you can wake up Monday morning and start all over again.
And like Star and I, we said this earlier, like Star and I always say, also be sure to have fun.
Yeah, have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers, everyone. Happy 2024.
Thanks.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. My ice.
Love you guys.